When you think about masculinity, when you think about toughness, what comes to mind? Him? Jason Statham, super hard. How about him?
He's a complicated man.
Richard Roundtree, Shaft, a cat that won't cop out when danger's all about. Now, how about him? Eddie Izzard, actor, comedian, transvestite, a man with the courage to stand up and be true to himself, even if that means risking his career. See, before it had even started, Eddie was what you call a true original. Brilliant stand-up hero. You know, he gets paid to talk about bollocks in his mind, but it's smart and funny bollocks, my friend.
Contrary to what you may be thinking, it's not all roses being a transvestite, you know?
He's a sought-after actor.
You're a genius.
Remember the Riches? Eddie and Minnie Driver is outsiders in pursuit of the American dream, and if he gets his way, he, Eddie, who once ran 43 marathons in 51 days, will test his endurance in another way that requires your toughness as future mayor of the City of London.
What a treat this is, everybody. Please welcome back to the show, Eddie Izzard. How you doing, sir? Oh, man. Welcome back to the show. Thank you. How are you?
I am good. My knee's a bit weird, but I'm good.
What's weird about it?
I tried to jump a fence. It was, I'd gone through, I was running along, you know, getting back into training, because I tried to do these marathons before. And I was going through the thing, and people recognized, hey, Eddie, do you want to know how to get down? I said, no, I got a map, you know, I'm Google mapping my way. So I'm fine. And the map says you can go all the way through the back of the golf course. Right. You can't. But they put a fence around that. The fence had been pushed down by stinging nettles. And like I was a kid in stinging nettles. So I knew I had to spring over this thing and not get stung. And in avoidance of not getting stung, I did a big push-up on the left leg.
Right.
And
as one would do.
As one would do, and as you did when you were a kid, you
right.
know, and had that elasticity. And I seem to have lost elasticity over the last 73 decades of my life. and the fence was that high in the end. It was that high. Once it was down, I was trying to... I just wanted to do a big spring, and that big spring said, this is gonna go. So that's what happened.
So how are you dealing with the aging thing then?
I'm 2.8% Neanderthal.
Yes.
We're all between 1 and 4% Neanderthal.
Well, here, watch this clip here. Watch this clip here.
Remember when I told you I'd found some extraordinary DNA in your genome?
Oh, right, yeah. This is extraordinary time.
Well, now I'm going to tell you where it came from.
Okay.
You are 2.8% Neanderthal.
Whoa. Is that a good thing or bad thing? You just happen to have that there?
Yeah, I was ready for it. I wanted to play that for you.
But do you, if I mention other things, do you just go, no, we have a clip of that too? Is that, or do you just happen to have that one there?
We happen to have that one ready to go because I wanted to ask you about it, because I know that everybody has a bit of Neanderthal, but you're in the higher end of the spectrum.
Well, apparently so, but the good end of it, I think. But even the Queen is between 1 and 4% Neanderthal. So because we do tend to, because the eyebrow ridge, right. We go, oh, they weren't smart fellows. But they could have had that huge eyebrow ridge and gone, now, sit down, Simon, I want to tell you something. Let's talk about Nietzsche, who doesn't exist yet, or something, you know.
It would be beautiful for a tour called Force Majeure. I mean, you're hard to stop. You're an act of God then, or act of nature, or act of something.
Force of nature. I think force of nature. Yeah. I'm going with a force of nature.
That's how you want to define it?
Yeah, because it's act of God in contracts, but it's also force of nature, really, because it says when there's a tsunami, which is an act of God, but there is no God, so therefore it must be a force of nature.
Right.
Now, of course, there could be a God,
right.
But if so, he's got a lot of questions to answer.
Right.
And if he came down here, he would not get elected.
You don't think so?
No. If God came down, if there was one who was right, or if 9, say there's 9. It says, it's just us 9, and we have a big table. And, but say they came down, we'd say, World War II, what? And by the way, thank you, Canada, for World War II, for really, coming in, because you guys just came, and Australians came, and New Zealanders came, so yeah. I'd like to say thank you, because I don't think the Brits say that a lot. And, no, I know this stuff. And so God has got to answer, because he should have flicked Hitler's head off, as I've said before. Yeah. He should have worked, because Hitler's... The first 2 kids of Mrs. Schicklgruber died in infancy. Right. First 2 died in infancy. So couldn't that have just gone one more? And then she could have had 23 kids after that who were nice Schicklgrubers. And
so do you think that if the other 2 had lived, one or the other 2 had lived, that maybe it would have been a different scenario for young Adolf?
I don't know. But you just... If there was a God, you'd think when she got the baby, she went, look, this one's... Oh, the head's come off. That one doesn't work. What do you think, Mr. Schicklgruber? Go for another? And change your name to Big Ed or something, I don't know.
Well, look at your nails, Rhys. You've got the flag, right? And then you've got the European Union
British
flag.
European transvestite, that's my political statement in 10 fingers. And, but that one is kind of contentious and, you know, in England rather than necessarily the UK or the rest of Europe, but because it's all about laws. It's like states' rights, that American thing. I don't know if you have province rights in Canada, but it's that's what goes on there. But I'm very positive on Europe. It's what humanity does. We gradually come together. We gradually get fairer rules for everyone. So...
You did Moscow. Did you deal with the political stuff that's going on there?
Well, I didn't go in and start swinging, because I want to go and learn Russian and do more in Russian. I really want to have Russian learnt after I've done German, Spanish, and then Russian, and I feel that's my way of going in. I want Russia to change its laws. I feel that Margaret Thatcher brought in homosexuality laws in the mid-'80s in a country that's supposed to have had democracy for, you know, 250 years, 300 years, whatever we're supposed to have it in the UK. And so, you know, countries can go backwards humanitarian-wise, but I just want Russia to turn around and start heading forwards again. The world can be a tough old place, but there is less violence in the world. There's a book called The Better Angels of Our Nature, and it's all about there is way less violence in the world than there was before. We do have weapons that are far more disgusting.
But weirdly enough, there seems to be way more violence in television. So people always tell us, oh, you know, you have to watch what you put on TV because it'll affect culture. But as crime rates go down and violence goes down, TV gets even wilder. Think of the stuff that's on even a show like Hannibal. Go back to years and years ago, in the glory days, so-called, of television, they would never have had a series like that. So is it we just want to watch it as opposed to experience it?
It could be. I mean, there's nothing cozier. Hannibal is obviously quite out there. But, you know, those Poirot-type movies, the Agatha Christie's, there's nothing cozier, and some very safe middle-class people from around the world will just get themselves into bed or into a comfy sofa with a cup of Horlicks, cup of coffee, and watch, there's a dead person. How did they die? Oh, they died like that. And there's nothing cozier than to start off with a death at the beginning of a thing, or Murder, She Wrote. It wasn't Injury, She Wrote. She didn't do that one. He's got a bad leg. Who did that bad leg to that person? He hit him with a bat? Oh, that's terrible. Injury, She Wrote. Slight crick of the knee, she wrote. You know, because those...
Stick around. More with Eddie right after this.
All right, so what does the guy who's running for mayor of London think about some of our mayors here in Canada? We'll find out. That's next.
No. I was here first. You have to form a queue if you want food. Can I have penny alla arrabbiata? That'd be very nice. No. Do you know who I am? That's Jeff Vader, that is. I am not Jeff Vader. I'm Darth Vader. What, Jeff Vader runs the Death Star? No, I run the Death Star. You Jeff Vader? No, I'm Darth Vader. Are you his brother? Can you get his autograph? I can't get it. No, I'm Jeff... All right, I'm Jeff Vader. I'm Jeff Vader.
I love that. We're back here with Eddie Izzard. A fan video made for you.
Yes, that's Thorn 2200 made that. Yeah. And I think... It's got over 20 million hits, but it might even have more. I think he had to take it down and put it back up again. But I'm now in Force Majeure, as I'm touring across Canada, I do the sequel to the Death Star canteen, because that was all based upon Darth Vader going down to the canteen on the Death Star and ordering penny alla arrabbiata, and them saying, the woman says, no, you need a tray. She says, no, I don't need a tray. And in the sequel, God comes down, and with a deep voice, and who's also picked up scuba diving and doing all that kind of stuff. And he orders spaghetti carbonara, which is saved for Darth Vader. And then it goes into another one of these things. And they don't use trays anymore because they've been banned because there were fights with it.
Anthropology. Who's someone you should genuinely thank?
Nelson Mandela.
Someone you should say sorry to?
Nelson Mandela.
Why Nelson Mandela?
27 years in prison.
You should say sorry to?
Well, just generally.
OK, fair enough.
You know?
On behalf of everybody?
On behalf of scumbags.
Finish this sentence. Comedy is best when it's...
funny. I was going to say truthful.
You still planning on running for the mayor of London?
Yep.
Yeah? Yeah.
Well... Hang on. What's that based on? Just, well done, I could be terrible.
You could be a terrible mayor.
I could be like some of your mayors. You've got a whole mayor thing going.
Well, we figured...
No, I'm not... Yeah, I've just heard stories about Toronto and Montreal.
Yeah.
That's all I've heard. And the rest of your mayors are fantastic, yes?
Yeah, we have some good mayors in this country.
Yes. So I hopefully will be like those mayors. It's not that all Canadian mayors. I just thought when I was in Montreal, they were saying, "Have you heard about the mayor?" I went, "Yeah." I got here, they said, "You heard about the mayor?" What, the Montreal mayor? No, the Toronto mayor. Ah.
Well,
It's
they
a
were both
disease.
competing to be the sadly funniest mayor in the country, so we figured, why don't you compete to be the funniest mayor of your country then?
Well, no, I'm trying to do an Al Franken. If people in Canada know about Senator Al Franken, who came from the world of comedy, went into being a senator of Minnesota, and has really just got his head down and got on with it. I want to break all the energy of doing gigs in different languages, of touring around and playing lots of crazy places, of doing marathon running, of all this stuff. I'm going to bring that energy into it and hopefully do something positive. I can think in a different way. I can see things in a slightly different light.
Do you already know what your mayoral slogan's going to be?
Well, I know what my life slogan is. We can all do more than we think we can do.
That's a good one, actually. That's really nice.
That's what I discovered for the marathon. Running the marathons didn't prove what I could do. It proved what we can all do, because everyone looks at me and goes, "That guy's not a runner." And, "Wow, he did all that." And, all right.
If the world were ending tonight, what would you want to be wearing?
Ooh.
This is an important question, young man.
I know, what's going on? Like, comfortable shoes.
Make sure you see his tour. Force Majeure is what it's called, making its way around Canada into December. We've got all the dates for you on Strombo.com. What a pleasure to be with you as always. Eddie Izzard, everybody.